The bride's relationship with father-in-law, until one cruel night changed everything. They raised 3 kids with everything they had. But when the children built their own lives, the parents were left with nothing but each other. Until one cruel night changed everything. Michael and Elena Carter were the kind of American couple neighbors admired. Hardworking. Loving. Quiet but strong. They bought their first tiny home with borrowed money and big dreams. And when their first child was born, they promised each other that their kids would have everything they never had. So they worked, day shifts, night shifts, double shifts. Michael drove trucks across states. Elena cleaned offices till her fingers cracked. Their home was small. But their hearts were enormous. They raised 3 children. Daniel, the eldest, is always proud of his parents. Emily, the middle child, smart and gentle. And Ryan, the youngest, charming and loud. Birthdays were loud, Christmas was magic, and the kitchen was always warm with Elena's famous chicken soup. Life wasn't perfect, but it was theirs, full of love, sacrifices, and late-night laughs. Years passed, one after another, like pages in a well-loved book. The children grew stronger, taller, louder. And the parents grew quieter. Graduations, marriages, new houses, everything the parents dreamed of for their kids came true. And little by little, the phone calls from their children became shorter. Visits skipped. Birthdays forgotten. But Michael and Elena didn't complain. Parents never do. But life was about to show them how quickly love can turn into loneliness. When their last child moved out, the house felt wrong. Too big. Too quiet. Too cold. For years, the hallway echoed with footsteps, laughter, arguments, music, slammed doors, and running children. Now, all it echoed was silence. Breakfast became 2 cups of weak coffee. Dinner shrank to shared soup. And bedtime came earlier, because there was nothing left to wait for. Elena often wandered into the children's old rooms. The posters are still on the walls. The trophies are still shining. The beds are still neat. She would sit on the edge of Emily's old bed and whisper, "I hope you're eating properly, sweetheart." Michael pretended he was fine. But he kept the porch light on every night. Just in case one of the kids came home unexpectedly. They never did. The parents grew older. Softer. Fragile in ways they never expected. One morning, Michael's hands shook so badly he spilled coffee all over the table. Elena rushed to help him. And realized how much weaker they had both become. But instead of calling their kids, they smiled at each other. "We've taken care of them their whole lives," Elena whispered. "If we tell them we're struggling, they'll worry." "We'll manage," Michael said. "Like we always did." But they didn't know that one of their children had married someone who didn't want the old parents around anymore. Daniel, the eldest son, had always been responsible, until he married Sabrina. Sabrina was beautiful, polished, and successful. But beneath her flawless smile lived a heart that held no room for anyone but herself. She believed aging parents were a burden. She believed everyone should live their own life. And she especially believed that Daniel's parents were too old-fashioned and embarrassing. At first, she pretended to be kind. Fake smiles. Forced politeness. Cold hospitality. But after the wedding, the truth began to leak out like poison. She criticized Elena's cooking. Rolled her eyes when Michael spoke. Completely ignored their attempts to connect. Daniel always said, "She's stressed, Mom. She doesn't mean it." But she did. The breaking point came the day Michael accidentally dropped a glass plate in their kitchen. His hands were weak. He apologized immediately. Sabrina walked in, glared at the broken pieces, and snapped. "Why can't you control yourself? I can't babysit old people. This is my home, not a nursing center." Michael froze. Elena felt her heart shrink. Daniel wasn't home. He didn't witness it. Sabrina continued. You two need to go. I can't do this anymore. Elena whispered, please. Daniel should decide. But Sabrina shoved their suitcases toward them. She had already packed their clothes. You can go stay wherever you want, she said coldly. Just not here. Michael and Elena stood at the door, trembling, humiliated, carrying 2 small bags, the same bags they once packed for family vacations. Only this time. They weren't coming back. But getting kicked out was only the beginning of their struggle. It was nearly midnight when the elderly couple stepped out onto the cold street. They had nowhere to go. Michael held Elena's hand tightly, feeling her tremble. Her face was pale, her eyes red from silent tears. They walked to a small park nearby, the only place with a bench where they could sit. The cold breeze cut through their thin sweaters. Elena leaned against Michael's shoulder. Do you think Daniel will be angry if he finds out? She whispered. Michael swallowed hard. He loves us, but he loves her too. They sat under the pale street light like 2 forgotten souls. The night was long. Too long. Kids, they once protected, had moved on without looking back. Parents who had given everything. Now they had nothing but each other. By morning, Elena's breathing grew heavy. Michael panicked. He stopped a passing taxi and begged the driver to take them to the nearest clinic. The driver, a kind man, didn't charge them. Doctors later told Michael. She's weak. Exhausted. She needs rest, warmth, and care. He nodded, but guilt crushed him. He felt he had failed as a husband. Failed as a father. Failed as a man. But he stayed by her bedside all night, holding her hand. Because no matter how the world changes, he still had one sacred promise left. Till death do us part. But someone unexpected was about to enter their lives. When the older couple left the clinic, unsure where to go next, fate stepped in. A middle-aged woman named Linda, a nurse who had watched their quiet suffering, approached gently. I heard what happened. You shouldn't be out there alone. Please come stay at my home for a few days. Michael hesitated. Pride was heavy. But Elena squeezed his hand and whispered, please. Linda welcomed them into her small home, warm, simple, full of heart. She served them hot soup, fresh bread, and tea. Elena felt her strength returning. Michael looked at Linda with gratitude written all over his tired eyes. Over the next few days, Linda learned their whole story, the sacrifices, the loneliness, the cruel daughter-in-law. She listened without judgment. Without rushing. Without looking at her phone. Something their children no longer did. You both deserve better, she said softly. You deserve love, not disrespect. Michael broke down. It was the first time he had cried in years. But while kindness healed them, their children were about to learn the truth too late. Daniel returned home early from work. He found the house too quiet. Sabrina? Mom? Dad? No answer. His heart pounded. Something was wrong. And then he saw the suitcases missing from the closet. When Sabrina walked out of the bedroom casually, Daniel asked, "Where are my parents?" She didn't flinch. "I asked them to leave." Daniel froze. "You what?" "I'm not running a retirement home," she said coldly. They were too much. They had to go. Daniel's face changed, fear, anger, disbelief. "How could you throw out my parents? Without even telling me?" Sabrina folded her arms. "You're overreacting." But he wasn't. Daniel grabbed his phone with shaking hands. No answer. No message. No location. His heart felt like it was being ripped out. He called Emily and Ryan, both panicked. All 3 siblings rushed to search for their parents, calling hospitals, neighbors, and even the police. And finally, they received a call from the clinic. Your parents were admitted last night." When they reached the clinic and saw their parents missing, the nurse told them. They left with a woman named Linda. The siblings rushed to her home. What they saw through the window broke them. Their parents are sitting at a small dining table, eating soup slowly, holding hands. Not because of love alone, but because the world had abandoned them. The confrontation was coming, and nothing would be the same again. Daniel knocked on the door, tears already falling. Linda opened it gently. "They're inside," she whispered. When the children stepped in, Elena froze, then burst into tears. Michael's voice cracked. "You came?" Emily hugged her mother tight. Ryan knelt beside his father, crying into his hands. Daniel couldn't look at his parents. He felt unworthy of their forgiveness. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I should have protected you. I should have checked on you. I failed as your son." Elena shook her head, wiping his tears. "No, Beta, we failed to tell you we were struggling." Then Daniel said the words he feared. "I'm leaving Sabrina. I won't stay with someone who hurts my parents." Michael held his son's face gently. "No marriage should be built on disrespect. But don't make decisions in anger." Daniel insisted. "This isn't anger. This is clarity." The siblings all agreed they wanted their parents home, no matter what it took. Linda stepped back, letting the family reconnect. Tears, apologies, regret, forgiveness. Everything spilled freely in that small, warm room. It was messy. It was painful. It was real. Now they had to decide what home meant, and who truly belonged in it. The siblings decided together. Their parents would live with all of them, rotating monthly. So no one would carry the burden alone. And no one would miss the warmth of family. Daniel filed for separation. Sabrina left the city, furious, but irrelevant. Michael and Elena moved into Emily's home first. She redecorated the guest room with their favorite things. Ryan came over every weekend with groceries and repair tools. Daniel visited daily, carrying guilt that slowly transformed into devotion. Slowly, the parents grew stronger, happier, safer. And one evening, sitting on the porch together, Elena whispered, "After everything, we still ended up with love." Michael smiled softly. "Our kids forgot us for a while, but they came back. That's what matters." The sun dipped behind the trees. The house was filled with laughter again. The kind that melts old wounds and replaces them with hope. Because in the end, they raised 3 kids. Life tested them. Cruelty touched them. Loneliness shadowed them. But they still had each other. And now, they had their children again, too.